keys of the city to Fernando and Isabella, he supposedly let out this huge sigh, and that's what that phrase, the Moor's last sigh, that's the phrase. It's his like exhalation of all of his grief of having to leave this kingdom after almost 1,000 years of its establishment. So if you consider that our country has only been here for 200 and change, you can imagine like this was a whole history. This kingdom, it's older. It's older than most of the modern nations in Europe, although not all of them. So it was for a huge time in history throughout European history. There were Muslims in Spain, and if you read all those medieval texts, you never sort of realize that. It's really funny, you know. But they were there all the way to the end. It was the year that Columbus sailed is the year that the Moors left Spain. Okay, so he says, I have, midway down, I have, oh, I'm sorry, so I am the last gasp of an Arab on the second line. That's the way that Agha Shahid Ali has chosen to translate the Arabic phrase that is ordinarily, or perhaps typically translated as the Moor's last sigh. I've passed over this land, there is no land in this land, since time broke around me shard by shard. So notice as you're reading through these poems later, the references that Darwish makes to time and place, and how place is always something that escapes and evades, but time is always something that maybe he doesn't always have it, but he's always hoping to have it or looking for it. At the bottom, he says, I hear the rattling of keys in the door of our golden history. Farewell to our history. Will I be the one to close the last door of the sky, I the last gasp of an Arab? So the keys do refer to the keys of the city that he turned over to Isabella and Fernando, but they also refer to the fact that it's a sort of famous story about the expulsion, is that people took the keys to their houses with them. They locked their houses up and they took the keys with them, and these keys were passed down as heirlooms from generation to generation. And you will find, and as I mentioned, many of the actual Muslim people stayed and converted, but the vast majority of the Jewish people left. And you will find in museums in different places, and maybe there are even families who still have them, but these keys were passed down for hundreds and hundreds of years by these people who felt like symbolically taking the key means you're going to go home. But 700 years later, you know, the key is like, this is the physical representation of the permanent condition of exile, because it's a key to a house in Toledo or in Cordoba or someplace that probably doesn't even exist anymore.